Hello, welcome to Warley Live Wednesday. I'm a bit of a mess today. I'm a bit up in the air because I'm trying to been quite busy this morning and run off my feet yesterday. So you can see the room's a bit of a mess. Apologise for the lighting. I know there's a strong light behind me, but at the moment I haven't got blinds yet for my studio. And it's a bright sunny day and it just struggles. My computer struggles with the light. Obviously, so much light behind me. And the other thing is, I've got no guests at the moment, so you've got me on my own. Geoff's just messaged to say he's just got in from work, so Geoff will be coming on in a few moments. But I've got a few sort of little shout outs and announcements to give you. Obviously, we got the Warley MRYCG members meet on the 31st of July. We are making plans for the day at the moment with the guys from MRYCG. I've just spoken to someone today about a competition we're going to do on the day. So we've got 3 confirmed people for the competition, and they are all absolutely brilliant modelers. I can't give away too much information because I think we're going to do something. We're going to announce something this week on Facebook Friday with the juniors concerning the juniors, MRYC juniors and the Warley juniors. So that's going to be announced this Friday. So if you're free at 7 o'clock on Friday evening, join us on the MRYC juniors Facebook Friday. I think I've been roped into to join the stream, so hopefully we'll get a bit of announcements then, and it should be good fun. It's aimed really at our junior members and followers. So if you've got a son, daughter, granddaughter between the ages of 12 and 20, get them to join the MRYCG juniors, the junior group. Or if you want to join the Warley junior group, contact me and we'll get you. You can become a member. And this competition really is going to be aimed at you. But it's a great little competition, and we'll release more information on Friday. The reason why I've been so busy, yesterday I spent the day with, if I can share the page, I'll try and do a screen share. So I went to visit these guys in Burton. It was like an invited visit. So NMRA asked me to help them out with some video and some content for their chat and natter events that they've run. I think they run them on a monthly basis, but I was kind enough to ask me if I'd like to go along, help them with some videoing. So I got to see the shop. The guys at the shop are fantastic. It is aimed at the American modeler, so railroads, so HO, N-gauge, Z-gauge, but they have got some British stuff there as well. So they've got Hornby, Batman, woodlands, loads and loads of woodland scenics products, paints. They've got a website, as you can see, but they're also doing a click and collect service as well. So if there's anything you need and you live locally, go on the website, put the order in, and you can either get it delivered to you or you can go and collect it. But fantastic guys, great knowledge, and they're really friendly, and it's a lovely shop. So I really look forward to going back to visiting the shop when after lockdown and going back to visit again. And I picked up a few bits when I was there. So yeah, but definitely worth a visit. And hopefully there'll be a video coming out on the with the NMRA, but there'll also be a video on the Warley channel. So it's got to go out on the NMRA site first, but hopefully after it's gone out live with them, we'll get permission to put it on the Warley channel as well. So that'll be part of our Warley visit series. So look out for that video as well. So we've got 10 of you in the stream, so welcome to all those who have joined. If you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel. And if you want to, get involved, have a chat and join the chat, and any questions about anything to do with Warley, drop a message in the chat, and I'll see if I can answer you. unfortunately, the club is closed at the moment due to COVID, but we're hoping to open back up again in the next, sort of next month. So it's all down to COVID and what we're allowed to do. We're probably about to partially open the club on an invite on members' request basis, individual members, when the gyms reopen next month. But in terms of full club opening, you're probably looking at June, July. But again, hopefully everything goes to plan with the what Virus is announcing. We should be back fully open by July, in time for the MRYCG members meet. Again, I'm not sure what's going to happen with that in terms of any restrictions. It really is a case of we're playing by ear, and we'll obviously we'll announce whatever restrictions are in place at the time. But we're hoping to have a full club open. Everything is sort of is up in the air really, but as a club we are very we're very tight on the social distancing. When the club has been opened, there's sanitizer as you walk through the door. You must wear a mask in the club at the moment when we've been open. So anyone's got concern about COVID, it will be we are working on a COVID safe environment. So lots to look forward to really. In terms of the show, again, we don't know anymore really. As soon as we get announcements from the NEC, again from the government, for mass gatherings, we will let you know, and we'll keep you informed. We are planning the show as normal. It's probably likely to be a very last minute ditch effort once we get all the restrictions for the show and what we're going to do. But hopefully we'll get Nigel on here, who's the exhibition manager, and we'll bring him into the show at some point. Hopefully May, June, maybe when we've got a bit more information about what the restrictions will be, when we hopefully know a bit more what the plan will be for November. So I don't really know any more than what I've just sort of said. So that should be good. Really looking forward to get back into shows and meeting everyone, and having a chat with everyone as well, because it's nice to have a chat on here, but it's also nice to be to meet back with people face to face and have a proper good natter over a cup of tea and a piece of cake. In terms of future videos, we've got the next sort of next couple of weeks planned out. So next week we've got Pete Waterman. So Peter's coming onto the stream, and he will be talking about the new 00 layout he's building for Chester Cathedral for the exhibition that's going to take place up there. He's sent me some sneaky pictures, which I can't show you today, but hopefully we'll have some pictures to show you next week. And all I can say is, wow, it really looks amazing. It's again, I don't want to say too much because I want to try and save it for when Pete comes on. But the level of detail, the modelling is superb. It really is. It's brilliant. It's the sort of standard I could only dream of achieving. So yep, definitely one to look out for. Next week should be a really good video. So if you're around, pop in and join us. Hopefully I won't be on my own for too long. But yeah, next week 2:00 we've got Pete Waterman. The following Wednesday, I'm talking to DCC Concepts. So I'm talking to Richard at DCC Concepts, hoping we'll get him on board. He's just checking his to see if he's available and if there's anything that's going to cause any issues in joining us next week. As soon as he confirms, obviously I'll let you guys know. But we're hoping to have him on board for the following week, and then the week after that, trying to think who I've got. I can't remember. It's gone. It's I'm getting old. Sorry, I must apologise. I did speak to someone. Oh yeah, Martin from Warley Club. So Martin's coming on board the following week, and Martin's a fantastic modeler. He's an O-gauge modeler. He's got Hornby live steam, and he's built a layout around the Hornby live steam. So we're hoping to get Martin on to do a bit of, hopefully, some content about the live stream, and some video of it working. Martin also takes the live stream locos apart and works on them and services them himself. So hopefully we'll get a bit of behind the scenes on what Martin does with live stream. And he also builds. He does work for other modelers where he builds locos. He's done sort of just like the real thing. These are locomotives. He's helped me no end when I built mine. But he's building a rake of Mark II coaches for somebody, a friend of his. And I'm sure we'll have some pictures and have a look at what he's been up to. I think he's building 5, so it's quite a big project when he's building 5 of the same carriage all in one go. And obviously Mark IIs aren't small coaches, so I think that's a pretty big build. I think it's keeping him very busy. But again, we can have a chat with him about the modelling and the the work he does for other people, model builds, weathering, and we'll try and get him in for a good chat. So that's what we got planned for the next few weeks. I'm hoping Geoff comes in soon, because I'm on my own. It's weird being on my own. It's strange. I've always got someone normally to help me and support me and have a in the chat. So, but if you're watching, you're enjoying it, give us a thumbs up and ask some questions, throw questions at us, and we'll try and help you. Even if it's just modelling questions, if you want anything answering or help with anything, again, I'll try my best to help you. So just apologise for the lighting behind me, because it's a bit bright and I'm a bit in shadow. So yeah. Okay. So what else have we got? What we've been up to? So I've got my lockdown project I've also been working on. Had a few teething troubles with the Magnum rail. So very similar to what Richard did at Everard Junction. I used cork for next to the track, and that works really well. I got it from Wix. Bought a pack. I think it was only £5 or £6. 7.5 mil thick cork, and it does sort of flow around the flows around the track quite well. But what I've only used the one motor, so it is a bit of a struggle on the motor. It's fine pulling your vehicles, but it doesn't like pushing the vehicle as much. So I think I need a second motor. So that's something I'm going to have to address, I think, before I really show it, because it can be a bit jumpy only with a single motor. And I've got quite a long sort of length of track on the build. It's got to be about 15 foot long, so it's over one pack it's a starter pack plus sort of 3 or 4 extension packs, and it's probably a bit too much for one motor to work. So hopefully I'll get the second motor on, and at some point we'll get a video up and show you how it works, how I set it up. I've used plastic rather than polypropylene instead of the photo paper Richard used, and again that's quite nice, because I've got 2 sheets joined together rather than having sort of pieces of A4 paper just joined together. So I've got less joins, so it's a lot smoother. It works smoother, and it seems to work quite well with the Magnum rail, because it's only 0.5 mil thick, so it's not particularly thick, but it does a good job. So welcome, Ollie, thanks for joining. Hi Nate, welcome to this stream from New Hampshire in USA. Hello Norton. So again, like I said, if you've got questions, just chuck them in. Yeah, I'll go back to live stream for a big screen. So I'm hoping Jason said he might pop in, so we can have see what Jason's got planning for the members meet as well. I don't know if he's got anything planned on behalf of the MRYCG. So I'm hoping he's going to pop in a bit to save me. And I know Geoff's messaged me to say he's just walked in from work, so he'll be joining me as soon as he can. So until then, you've got me on my own, I'm afraid. And oh, Geoff's just here now. So, Geoff, you all ready to come in? Because I'm on my own struggling. So, hiya, Geoff.
All right.
You look a bit sort of windswept.
Yeah.
So it's been a bit of a rush today. Sorry.
That's all right.
So, how you doing? Keeping well?
Yes, I'm keeping busy, so not too bad. And I've just this second got home, and I've just this second walked through the door, got myself a cup of tea.
Oh, good. That's the main thing. As long as you got a cuppa.
Yeah, and just quickly set up the laptop with the camera.
Good. I've just been mentioning the MRYCG Members Day earlier.
Yeah.
And you've agreed to bring a few products to display and show at the day, haven't you?
Yeah, I've been busy trying to get the stocks up because I've been running low. I'm not too sure that I'll be doing much live mug printing or t-shirt printing there, because when you do that, you're concentrating on doing that, and if several people want a t-shirt or a mug, you end up talking to nobody.
Yeah, focusing on that.
You're just focusing on that. I'm trying to get a friend of mine to help me to share the burden, because not that I predict that I'm going to be busy. It's just the fact that people have been in lockdown so long that they're just itching to get out and see something, and I'll have that because it's there,
Yeah.
So it's if there's stuff to be bought, there's a possibility they'll buy it. If I'm not prepared and there is no stuff to be bought, then I shall miss out on a sale. So,
but there'll be nothing stopping people if they want to order anything.
No.
Order it and have it delivered. No, post it to them, can't you, and get it to them that way.
Yeah, you can still order it. That's no problem.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's good. So I'm really looking forward. I know we can't give too much away because of obviously we could be trying to save the announcements for Facebook Fridays. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to the day. I probably know a lot more about what's going to happen than what you do at the moment. But I don't, like I said, I don't want to upset Jason and Stuart by saying too much. But yeah, it should be good. It should be a good day. It'd be nice to get out and get back out and see people and talk to people again in the
it's torture for me, because every single morning I drive to work and I'm 20-30 foot away from the front door of the club
and you can't go in.
I can't go in, every single morning that I just see it and I think to myself, one day I'll be in there.
Well, to be fair, I'm club secretary, and I can't even get in the club at the moment because even I'm locked out at the moment because I'm not part of the. Because obviously the distance I live away from the club, it's a bit far for me to be.
You can't be a key holder.
It's not. I'm not. I am a key holder, but I'm not essential. It wouldn't be part of my essential travel.
Yeah, you're not a key holder as far as the insurance or the alarm systems are concerned.
That's it, yeah. So there's no need for me.
In so many minutes, haven't you?
Yeah, basically, yeah. So I've got access. Well, I've got keys to the club, but I haven't got access to the. Obviously, with the lockdown, but hopefully that within the next month or so, hopefully things will start to relax and we'll be able to get back in and start working on projects for the club. We've got a couple of projects we got planned. I've got a project I'm planning with Hornby at the moment, so hopefully that will come into fruition in the next few weeks, and that should be an interesting project. Again, we're going to try and document it on the Warley YouTube channel, but it's something that's going to be going in hopefully in the visitor attraction when it opens in 2 years' time. So Do you remember the station I built with Hornby?
Yeah.
At the 2019 show? It's basically going to be an extension of that. We're going to make it into a full layout, and I've spoken to Simon at Hornby, and I think we're going to make that as a donation to Hornby for their visitor centre.
Right.
So we're going to have that's going to be on display at the 2022 show at Warley, and then Hornby will take it away then and have it on in their visitor centre. So that'll be hopefully forevermore will be a permanent attraction.
Mm.
And we want it so it's interactive, so you'll be able to go up and drive the trains and push buttons and turn lights on and off, and it's really aimed at sort of younger modelers, and hopefully it should be fun for them.
Yeah, I think one of the things that this lockdown has taught us all is that how we communicate with other people nowadays. I think to a degree, things like the railway modelling has sort of flourished, along with lots of other things where people do from home, that they've all flourished. And a lot of it is to do with technology and the internet and video streaming and video sharing. And I think what this has happened over the years, over this last 12 months or so, people have got into this habit of this is the way we communicate now. And not only that, we can communicate our hobbies, we can communicate to each other about it. And I think things like the club, like you just said, will document it for YouTube channel. You wouldn't have thought about doing that before. And I think a lot of it is to do with this. I always try and look at the bright side of things and see the good side of things. I mean, this pandemic has been an atrocity. It's been awful. It's been absolutely terrible for lots of people, for most of us. But there has some good come of it in some ways.
Yeah.
And I think it's all taught us these sort of things that we can possibly do, which we wouldn't normally do. And I've probably brought a lot of people out the shells because they're quite introvert, and now they've gone on streaming and things like that. So I think really, although it's been a bad time for most, it's had this little sort of thing in the background that's come good.
Yeah, I think it's made people spend a lot more time with the families as well. It's sort of a lot of people have got a lot more family time rather than just being at work, coming in, eating your dinner and going to bed. If you've been able to spend time at home with your family and again, things like the hobby, it's something that you can do with your family, and do modelling with your parents, and if it's something you can do and something you can share, it's good to spend quality time with someone, with an interest rather than just being stuck in front of the TV, every night watching TV. Because if you've been at school all day on Zoom or Teams or whatever, it's just nice to get away from a computer screen, isn't it?
Yeah. I mean, it's you've only got to look on YouTube at some of the channels, how the families are together on it, doing the YouTube channel together. It's not just the railways. A lot of it is the railways because that's what I see most of. But it's brought the families together, and they're all doing it together.
Yeah.
And I go back about 10, 15 years. My steplads, they were up in their bedrooms. This was one of them. And the other one was at the other side. And I'd come home from work and I'd never see them. I'd go a week without seeing them because they'd be in the bedroom. They'd probably come down for tea, and then they'd walk upstairs and go in the bedroom and have the tea in the bedroom. They wouldn't sit down with us. So, you just don't. You have to excuse me. I'm having my lunch.
That's okay. Don't worry, mate. I've got my lunch somewhere. So, in terms of Jumble Lane, what's been planned? What's the things you're bringing out? What have you got available?
On the printing?
Yeah, in terms of the printing, yeah. I've got your website up.
I've got some plans for some items. The one item I want to use the trade name in the description. Without giving too much away, basically, if you're talking about a vacuum cleaner, you just refer to it as a Hoover.
Yeah.
Now, a certain item that is used on sites, building sites and stuff like that, and basically those sites are have this item, and they're all whoever makes it, it's all referred to as this one make.
Okay.
So I've ordered this stuff from them when I was working at my last place, and basically we had to. I know some of the people that work there, so I've actually emailed them and asked them if they mind me using their trade name in the description of what I've made. So I'm not going to say anything until I know it's all going ahead.
Okay. And what have you got out at the moment? Currently out at the moment. So what can you buy from your website? What sort of kits have you got available?
They're not normally kits. There's only one I'd say is a kit, and that's a platform clock. And it's just like, it looks like a grandfather clock, but it's a pedestal clock for a platform.
Okay.
Comes with an LED resistor, wire, bits and pieces. You just assemble it. But all the rest is sort of, I doubt if you've had a look at them, but I'll do a set of market stalls.
Yeah, you sent me those. I'm gonna use them on the in the station area. You know, the car park.
There's only 1, 2, 3, 4. There's 5 pieces, and that's 2 pieces of roof, 2 end frames, a table, and that's it. I'll do some pub tables with brollies, and you get like a folded brolly, one that's where the brolly's down, and you get ones where the brollies are up. And the ones where the brollies are up, you get the post and then the brolly. You just got to glue them together. Apart from that, they just stick them in the hole like you do on a table anyway. But they've all got to be painted. Platform access steps. The other one is turntable surrounds. And there's 2 variants of these. There's ones where you've got just a cobblestone surround, and it comes in 6 sort of arced pieces of printed plastic, which you cut to the size between your tracks, and then you got inserts which go in between the rails, and they go around the border of your turntable. The other variant of that is where you've got ridges of bricks in the cobbles, because the very old turntables were person driven. Some worked on the vacuum on the vacuum pumps of the steam tender, the steam loco.
Yeah.
Connected the pipe to the steam loco, and then it uses the vacuum pipes to push the motors for the turntable. And then you had the ones where you got the guys pushing the turntable, and you got ridges of bricks around the cobblestones.
Yeah.
So that's the 2 variants. They're the same price for both. And they seem to sell well. I've got a Helgen turntable, and a friend of mine says, well, will they fit this one? It's a Pico. And on the Pico, you've got a lip all the way around, and then the flat part.
Yeah.
And this actually fits smack on the flat part after the lip. So that works for both. It works for the Helgen and it works for the Pico. So that's good. Letterboxes. I've got 3 sorts of letterboxes on the where you've got the ones that are like flush fitted into a wall. You've got the ones where it's like on a small pedestal, and you've got the normal pillar box, and they can be painted up. What I'm going to do is I'm going to do a small diorama, a board, which has got all these bits and pieces on it.
Yeah, so you can just take it to the exhibition centre.
I've got gravestones as well, sets of gravestones, which are on offer at the moment. They used to be £10 for a pack of 26. They're quite substantial gravestones, to be quite honest. It's quite a varied set. But with another company bringing out their laser cut gravestones, it makes mine look really expensive. So I've reduced the price to £4 for that pack while stocks last. I am bringing out extra stones, more varied stones in a pack, and it'll be around about the £7 mark, but there'll be an absolute load of them. So you can have a massive graveyard if you want.
Yeah.
So there's those. I did do some bus stops, which Craig, who's on the MRYCG, his dad was a bus driver at one point, and he died recently. And he wanted some. He says, "Any chance you can do me some bus stops just for his layout, because he wants to remember his dad and part of his layout." So I did that, and he says, "Oh, just do a load if you can, and we'll sell them." So what I've done, I've come up with this pack here, and it's a limited edition memorial pack with gravestones. With gravestones, you've got the two sorts of bus stops. You've got a plain bus stop with like the flag top,
yeah,
and you get one with a panel on the centre part of the post, which has got like a timetable on it, and on the back you've got the tribute to his dad.
Oh, brilliant! That's
so I've got those. What else have I got? I've got platform access steps as well. Those. I was thinking of going into trying my hand at O-gauge size some of the items, but obviously the need is probably less. People need them, so it's not worth the time in trying it out, unless somebody says to me they really want something and is a possibility you'll make it, and as an experiment I'll just charge them at least cost.
Yeah, well, I think you sent me the O-gauge, the market stores, and I've got a few bits in the 00, but I just haven't had time yet to dig into the bag and well, I haven't got a layout ready to put them on yet. So as soon as I've got
a long time ago, but you did warn me that you probably shelve it for a while.
Yeah, I've got the bag still, and I've got all the bits. And once I've got the platform done, so I've got the station builder, which I did, which is there. So there's the station for the 00, which I've still got to paint the platforms, and it's just the size more than anything to paint with me airbrush. But once I get my baseboard done, I'm going to have some market stalls around it, and I've done the wheels bike shed. That's a lovely little kit, to be fair. And I put a couple of teenagers hidden behind it smoking fags.
On my layout in the corner down there is I've said to people before, that area there is going to be called Rose Holt, because my mum's name is June Rose. I've got a part with my dad there. That's Godfrey Junction, so my mum will have Rose Holt. And at the moment, it's only sort of partly sort of constructed. So I want to make some buildings, almost like a ticket room and sort of station part. But it's got to be custom made, so it's actually built into the landscaping part.
Yeah.
So what I might be trying my hand at 3D printing the texture of the walls. And the idea came to me while I was printing a load of the cobblestone arcs for the turntable surround.
Okay.
Because it's the actual seat. You can see the cobbles. the way that they've printed. So I thought, if I put that up on edge, that's a wall. So all I've got to do is sort of do it in sections. So, and I can build the windows in and then insert them afterwards.
Yeah, just do the cutouts, and then I suppose you use someone's mentioned a quick cut on in the chat. He's Charlie said, yeah, Cricut Maker. So you could use something like that maybe for finer windows, so they're not as chunky.
I did do it. It's difficult sometimes to actually get the fine lines without breaking the card. Now they've brought out the extra tools for the maker, where they cut several lines. You know, they cut several times to cut through a thicker card. They can cut quite thick materials, but with the knife blade, it's around about a centimetre apart. I think they say 1/4 of an inch. You can't do a parallel line any closer than 1/4 of an inch. So cutting window bars is a no-no. But I did a slant on this, and I actually did it on a live stream some time ago. And basically, if you think of just normal A4 paper, if you cut that out with a Cricut for the window bars and the windows and the frame and everything else, then you stick that inside some laminating pouch and you laminate it, then what you've got is like your glass, like your acetate piece for your windows, built with the built-in window bars.
Yeah. So you're building the glass and the window frames in one piece almost, aren't you?
Yeah. And you just laminate it like a laminating pouch. Now I've got a laminator, I've got laminating pouches, I've got my Cricut cutter, I've got paper, and I just did it on a live stream. Yeah, it was okay, but a lot of these things on live stream, see, someone sees it, the method in which I did my layout, all my droppers come off the track and they come through to the front of the baseboard, and on the all the way around my baseboard here on the inner edge, there's some mini trunking, big mini trunking, and all the wires come into that mini trunking. And then I've got some twin and earth cable going round onto Veraboard, soldered to Veraboard, and then all my droppers soldered to the Veraboard. So I'm not underneath my layout trying to solder upside down or do connectors. They all come to the front. So I can sit at my chair like this and just do it. I'm there. You can see that's the trunking.
Yeah.
So it's a very easy job. Now, I did that a very long time ago when I was building it, and not many people sort of reacted to it. But all of a sudden, when I did a revisit to it, people were like messaging me, "How do I do that? You know, what do I need? What do I need to do?" Like, you know, but it's just one of those things. I think you just got to keep reminding people sometimes.
Absolutely, yeah. But it's about everyone's got ideas, you know, different ideas about doing things, and sometimes if you're sharing ideas, someone else will come along and add something else to it, and take it to the next step. Or
there's only one way of skinning a cat, isn't there? And let's face it, no one's right about doing anything. Everyone's got their own way of doing something, and I don't like. Well, I don't mind, but I wouldn't do a video saying this is how you do something. I do a video of this is how I do something. This is my slant on it. And like you do, you share ideas. You share different things with other people and say, have you thought of this? Because this will work. Now, I did that idea with the Cricut cutter for the window panes and window bars and laminate them in a pouch. Somebody suggested something to me. I thought, you know what? I never thought of that. So it's down to getting it online, getting it on YouTube or Facebook, sharing it, and people bounce ideas. It's like all big companies, when they're bringing out something new, they have a big powwow meeting and they're all sat around the table bouncing ideas off each other. And that's exactly what we're doing here online. Is we talk about things and people say, "Oh yeah, I never thought about doing it like that."
Yeah, just it's like a community brainstorm, isn't it? Really?
Well, it's like I had the pull out. It started off with two tracks on my pull out. Then I ended up with 4 tracks on my pull out, and I was never really happy with the fact it's a pull out and I've got to hold it down. It was starting to warp and this, that, and the other. And I could see people had got different way of hinging them and everything else. So I got 3D printers. So I printed my own hinges. And these hinges sit at the side of the bridge. And as the bridge opens, it lifts the track joints away from each other.
Yeah.
And they're just perfect. And now I've got a lift up section where I can come in and out, just drop it down. There's a switch on it, so if I lift it up, it kills the track. So yeah, it's and it's just by watching YouTube and having ideas off other people and adapting them for your own layout.
Absolutely. We've got a couple of questions. Ollie's asking about when the next exhibition is. So in terms of Warley, we've got the MRYCG Members Day and Warley Members Day. So as long as you're a member of Warley or you're a member of MRYCG, you're about to come along on the 31st of July. And then our show is going to be, I think it's the 27th, 28th of November. I should know the date off the top of my head, really. 27th, 28th of November at the NEC. In terms of other exhibitions, the only ones I'm hearing are the ones that have been cancelled. So I'm not 100% sure what other shows are on before ours. They were planning it, yeah, but when was that? Is that in July?
No, there's one in October.
October. I think there is a show just before ours, but quite a few have been cancelled. So I think they were planning one in. Is that Milton Keynes or?
I think it is, yeah.
I think they are planning it at the moment, but again, they'll be very similar sort of situation to us, where it is heavily reliant on what the government guidelines will be at the time. Yeah. And the government aren't saying anything about big, large gatherings at the moment. Yeah, it's not being discussed. We're starting to see outdoor activities starting to take place, but as soon as you say indoors, it's very nothing's been discussed. I know the Severn Valley are hoping to open up again next month, but again, it's on a case basis of you go along and you book a compartment of the coach, and you're a bubble in the compartment. So we couldn't go along and say, Geoff, I'll meet you and I'll meet 3 other people from the club and we'll share a compartment. It's got to be, strict bubbles. Yeah. And I don't think we're going to get back to the old days of the Severn Valley where we could go and meet up for a few months. Yeah.
Yeah. I think that's anywhere really. It's going to be sort of. I think next year's got more chance for things Definitely. Like that. As sad as it is, but I think if you've got an organised event where you've got restrictions of some sort in place, I think that would be sort of okay.
Yeah. Well, look, I was on the. I've been on. I'm obviously on Facebook, and Norman Cook is. I know it's nothing to do with Model Railways, but Norman Cook, Fatboy Slims, just announced a tour over the UK, and he's doing no dates in November. So again, there must be fairly confident something like that will be able to go ahead.
Yeah, but you're talking of the what's the industry, the entertainment industry, aren't you? They've got a big clout, and basically, once they start doing that, it sort of forces the government's hand.
Yeah,
them sort of people. The only trouble is the government can probably get a bit sort of irate about it and say, "Oh well, we're going to stamp."
But again, it's going to be a similar sort of thing to what obviously Warley in terms of a show. It's a big event with, and it's not just seated. They're doing the standing areas as well. So it'd be interesting to see how that progresses in terms of the bookings and government feedback on that, because that will hopefully give us an idea of what we can expect for the show.
Well, the thing is, with any event, especially where there's stuff to be got and people and groups of people who's involved in running the event have all got to be sorted out. It's planning. You've got to plan ahead for so much time ahead. You can't just say, right, we're going to be available. We can have it next month. It's going to be sort of, we need a good few months to get this in the planning stages and make sure we've got all the things around us that we need. You can't just drop on it and do it straight away.
Oh, so, no, not at all.
You have to start saying something now if you're going to be doing it in November. You can't wait any longer. So you've got to turn around and say, as long as the government plans will allow for it, it's going ahead.
Yeah.
And that's all you can say.
Absolutely. Charlie's asking, can you cut 2mm thick on the quick cut? Can you go to that sort of depth?
You can with balsa wood and card. I think 2mm. I'm not sure if it's 1.5 or 2mm is probably the thickest you can go. Because what you've got like little ring rollers. You've got the pinch rollers at the very end, and then on the wheel you've got wheels that are sort of which can slide out the way, and then your material goes on. And what happens is when you're using the rotary blade cutter, you have to use the heavy tack mount board. I forget what they call them now. The sheet that you use to hold the material. You use the heavy sticky one, and then you use masking tape to tape it down anyway.
Yeah.
I've only ever used it once, and I was sort of quickly experimenting, and I was trying to do something that it says I couldn't do, and it did it to a degree, but not very successful. But I'll be honest, I was like trying things I shouldn't really try, and everything I've done on my Cricut cutter, I've managed to get it to do okay and fine and brilliant, but I've pushed it to the extremes. So much so, there's one person who does a lot of crafting, and she's got a Facebook and YouTube channel, and she's quite popular. And I messaged her and talking to her about it. And she says, "Oh, you can't do that." I says, "Well, I have done." She says, "Well, I don't know how you can do that." I said, "Well, I have." And this is, I showed her. And it's just it's the same as the 3D printing. Once I've got into it, I've been doing all sorts with the 3D printers I've got. And yesterday I took delivery of my new 3D printer, another resin printer, a bigger one. And I haven't really had a chance to get it working yet and sorted out, because I was just getting it unpacked and sorted out, and then you messaged me about tonight, and I was trying to sort it out. I've got all this to do, but I've got to go to bed because I'm up at 4 o'clock in the morning. So yeah.
So are we on about the same young lady who was on our stream last week?
About what?
About you're talking about the quick cuts. Is it the same young lady who was on last week?
No. This is her name is Crifty Crafty.
Okay. Give her a shout out if you want.
Well, she's got nothing to do with model railways. It's you imagine like the American. She's English, but she's one of these like she comes on and she's really. I shouldn't really say it to her, but she's really OTT.
Yeah.
Hello, my lovelies. All this lot. I love her to bits because she's brilliant. She's fun and she gets on and does really good stuff. I've learned a few tricks, not to start making napkins and stuff like that, but in using the machine, how to use the machine, because whatever you're using, whatever you're making, it's all very similar.
Yeah.
So yeah, I've been doing that. But her name is Crafty. She's on Facebook. But if you want to know more about the machine, it's well worth watching her do these things. Not because of what she's making, but how she
does things,
the machine and the principles of the machine. And you get an insight of all the new tools for the machine that are there. Because when I first started, there was only you had like a little cutting wheel for the maker, which was for materials, like a felt cutting wheel or material cutting wheel, which cuts, like materials out.
Yeah.
But that's about all I had. But the knife blade itself was 40 odd quid. I've got an engraving tool, I've got a knife blade, I've got the wheel. You can have like ripple scorers and markers and things like that. But I haven't even kept up with what's available for it now. They were saying at one point, send your suggestions in what you want, and I was thinking of an engraving part which actually didn't do like scoring engraving, but actual engraving.
Yeah.
But I don't think they can get it to spin that fast.
Okay. But it's definitely growing. It's growing.
It's growing, yeah.
And it gives you as a modeler more options, which is what we're looking for, really, isn't it?
I started using mine just to do t-shirts, cutting the vinyl out for the t-shirts.
Okay.
So I use it for all sorts.
But Max asking, he said, Geoff, have you seen the Quick Cut are going to charge an annual fee?
No, they did do, and then everywhere they closed everybody's account down to make sure you had to pay to use it online because it's online based, and then everybody just stopped using them.
Okay.
Luckily, everybody just come together and said, "No, we're not having this." So Cricket couldn't sell any machines because no one would use them, because nobody would use the software. And there are plenty of other companies out there who are willing to jump on the bandwagon and start making software that'll operate them if Cricket don't support them. But they quickly withdrew that and they started working again. What it is, you've got the software. It used to be web-based software, but now it's on the computer. And basically, it's like a program that you use. And when you save your design, it saves it to their web space, which you can make freely available to anybody else who can look at it, or you can have it there for people to buy, or you can just send people links to it. And you can opt to save a file on the machine that you've got it installed on. You can select to purchase packages of things where you can say you subscribe to it, and then you can download X amount each month or year of so much. So a lot of it is subscription based. But if you're making your own models and you're modeling it yourself and just using that machine to cut it, there is no reason on this godly earth they should be charging you for that thing. You've spent a lot of money on a machine,
and you put the effort into designing it as well, and the work involved. So
so I think they're liking it now to the 3D printing industry, where there are things like Thingiverse you can go on, and you can download freely anything you want. You can donate to the person who's done that design, but for your own purposes, you can use that design what you want, and you can adjust it, change it, do what you like, print as much as you want. But if you can't actually make money out of doing it, I couldn't, for instance, download something off there and then sell it to my customers.
Yeah, you'd have to.
I'd have to have an arrangement with that person and pay them a pretty fee for it.
But I think that's fair, though, isn't it? Really,
It's fair. You know, you can imagine that. And there are websites out there which do the design. You can subscribe to, and you can use for commercial purposes. But I just tend to say, well, I need to do this, I need to make that, and I need to do it like this, and this is what it's going to look like, and I'll change it accordingly. I don't do sculptured things like because a lot of it is like figures and things like for war gamers. I don't do things like that, so I don't need to. You know, I've had ideas and I've downloaded things, and then basically I've tried to work out how it's done, and I've used software to produce my own.
Yeah,
and that's all right. You can get the ideas off people, and then make your own things. In a similar way that I wouldn't go onto SMS website, download their textures, and stick it on my printer, and then print a load out and sell it to people.
Yeah,
that's stealing off Justin, there is. So I wouldn't do anything like that.
Yeah, and you know, you could, like
I'd spend time like he did. Jan did. He was photographing brickwork and photographing paving to get the images, and then they worked hard in making the textures on sheets. It is you got to work at it, and you got to do it, and you got to sort of spend time doing it. And if you want to make money at it and sell it yourself commercially, then it's got to be your own work, because you just pinch it off other people, and that's a no-no.
Absolutely, it's you know, you got to be fair in you, and you know, someone's making, especially because they're making, that's their livelihood as well, isn't it? It's their.
Well, I've been working with a friend of mine who's bought one of these turntables, and we sorted out a kit of a texture kit where you can opt for different types of textures for the turntable, which will comprise of the inside of the bowl, the well, and then the walls that surround it, and obviously my cobblestone arcs on, you know, the surrounds. So there'd be like a full kit for the turntable.
Yeah.
And it's done in self-adhesive matte vinyl.
Okay.
And then you can do weathering on top of that as well. But, you know, it's just, it took me absolutely ages to try and, I was using this software that you've got texture built into like the artwork, and then you make the shape of the brick, you fill it with the texture you want, and colorize it the way you want to. But as soon as you resize it to the size you want, the actual texture stays the same size. So you start on a brick which is almost real size on paper, on an A4 paper, and then you shrink it down to a scale size, 1/76 scale size, but the actual texture is the same as the full size, and it will not shrink it because it's a fill pattern, and it actually fills that pattern that's on the screen. So what you've got to do is you've got to make it the size, and then you've got to save that image as a picture, and then reduce the size of the picture.
Yeah.
So you're not actually reduced. It doesn't work on that entity as a drawing that it's making. It's a picture that it's shrinking.
Yeah.
And that's the difference between vector graphics and bitmap graphics, like a JPEG and an SVG, basically.
Yeah. Okay. But the other thing you're very good with is photo backscenes. It's something that seems very popular. I've got a picture if I can find it. That you did some work you did for me. So I'm just see if I can find. I'm trying to find it.
I was watching Kathy Millett on your interview, the last one that you did with Kathy Millett, and I got really interested in the fact that she was talking about the photographic backscenes, how they tend to be in focus and bold and everything else. And I was striving to get that. if I show you my backscenes, that's the one, and I've tried to blend them in together like that, and not get them so that the two sort of and that one there on that side, you've got the blue haze where it's in the distance.
Yeah.
You see the place is a mess.
But no, for me, the idea is the back scene is an extension of the layout, so it gives the layout depth. It shouldn't be the focus. The focus point of the layout.
That's right. And also, it all depends upon if you've got like a back scene for a TMD where you want to continue. You don't want to make the TMD 12 foot wide with 40 tracks. You want to do 8 tracks and have the rest as photographs.
Yeah.
The TMD is a photograph. Then you do need some form of boldness and in focus of the front area, slowly going out of focus towards the distance.
Yeah.
Which you will get with a photograph anyway. It all depends on how much depth of field you've got in it and how you've centered your focus.
But look, I've now got the picture of what you did for me. So I know you work really hard with mine because you put the canal scene in for me, and then you could see the canal disappearing behind, but you've still got that depth of behind the obviously behind the embankment. So you've got you've got a layout sort of blending into the back scene, and it all works together. And that's I think it worked really well. That sort of worked really well, and I was really appreciative of your efforts there.
Yeah, it's one of the things is that I find difficult is achieving the length without any repetitivity, because basically what you see as a back scene is what you would normally see behind the railway. So one of the best places to be is on a railway carriage, going up the track and taking photo after photo after photo after photo, which I did do. I was on Severn Valley, but there were so many obstacles in the way. A tree will cover the camera frame as you pass it, and just as you want to click, that's it. And you go past, it becomes a blur,
Yeah.
So I think the idea is to find a railway where it's okay for you to walk alongside of safely, where you've got a good view of the distance over flat land.
Yeah.
I think slightly roaming hills, but where you can actually walk along and take a photo, walk along, take a photo. You only need to do it, for about a mile.
Yeah. Maybe.
I was just doing like an arc, and when you sort of study one place and you're going round in a circle, you've got to distort the photo to get it straight, because it becomes.
Maybe look at the Tissington Trail. It's a Staffordshire way, but that's a disused railway line. But you can walk along it. It's a walking, cycle route and public footpath. That might be a good place to go because it's in the Peak District, so you've got some really nice countryside. And
I need to know these places, but what because the back scenes are more. I've always said to people, tell me what you want. If you know of anything, I'll see. Because the job I was in before, I did a lot of traveling around, a hell of a lot of traveling, and I always had a camera with me. And believe it or not, a mobile phone in panoramic mode is virtually good enough, because it saves several photos fulls of photos. So it's quite a high resolution, the actual file. So when it gets onto the computer, it's like having 10 or 15 high resolution, good quality 12 megapixel photos all stitched together.
Yeah.
So, when you do make a 20, 30 foot back scene, because you can imagine they'd be about 3-4 foot tall, the actual back scenes would, and you've got to crop them into a short height to get the length.
Yeah.
Because I'll do anything up to sort of 22 inches high. I can print up to 2 foot wide, but and anything up a theoretical 40 foot, but the files on the programs will not allow for files that big. So I think about 25, 26 foot is probably as big as I can get. It's about 18 inches high.
Yeah.
But that's high enough really for most. 12 to 18 inches. Because the postal tube has got to be 610 millimeters, which is the 2 foot.
Yeah.
But the caps go inside the tube, which take off the 20 millimeters, so it's 600, which is less than 2 foot. So I have to cut the 20 mil, at least 20 mil off the actual 25 foot of roll paper, photo paper.
Yeah. I think we had to go for a walk once lockdown permits.
Yeah.
I'll take you up to Tissington because it's a nice area, really. It's a nice place to walk.
Yeah, I'll do that.
Ollie's saying, have you seen Underground Eric's custom ID vaccine of Harefield that he took on a drone?
Well, I did think about having a drone myself to do this, but I keep spending not my own money, but my mum and dad's money, which is my inheritance, on all sorts to do with the modelling industry. And I think, if I turn and said I fancy a drone, my dad would just say, I think enough's enough, right,
Yeah. Slow down a bit.
Yeah.
Max just said Charlie's right about the update on Quick Cuts. They have backpedaled on the charges.
I think they'll try and bring something in along the way in the future, but it all depends. I haven't really invested much more in my Cricut machine as far as all the tools and everything that I initially wanted. I've only got what I need at the moment, not what I want. But if they do in the end start playing up, because one of the things that I'm doing, one of the features with the Cricut Cutter is you can do print and cut. Now, what this does, it takes an image and you can print that image on the paper and get the machine to cut around it.
Okay.
To enable it to do that, it prints the image inside either square or rectangular border of a dark line, a very broad dark line. And when you put that paper or your vinyl or whatever it is printed on in the machine, the head scans with an infrared light that border. So it knows exactly where that image is because that sent that image to the printer within that border. So it knows the dimensions of the printed image. It also gives you the option to print a bleed on the image, which is an extra bit of the colour on the edge of the image. So when it cuts it, it doesn't cut on the white unprinted part. And then once it's decided where it is, after it's scanned it, it'll cut it out. One of the things I wanted to do was, like I said, is these turntable. The biggest piece of paper you can use on the print and cut is A4. and you can only go a certain size within that A4, a maximum size for print and cut, because it has to print the border. So you're very limited on the size. It's probably two-thirds the size of a piece of A4 is the maximum size you're ever going to print and cut as a single image. What I want is a 285mm circle I want to cut out with a hole in the middle.
Yeah.
At the moment, I can do the segments and do them in segments, but I want to do it in one piece. And I can print it on my wide format printer on 2 foot wide vinyl, and I can do 2 images on there. Now, the Cricut cutter, you can either use a 12-inch square or a 2 foot by 1 foot rectangle of the support sheet. And you cannot use anything bigger than A4 paper to do print and cut.
Yeah.
Now, it just seems to me you've got a whole waste of a resource. If you can actually print onto a piece of paper 2 foot by 1 foot, and you can stick it on the machine and cut that paper or cut a design out on 2 foot by 1 foot, why can't you get the software to give you a maximum size within that 2 foot by 1 foot piece, you know, and get it to go to the limits of the machine rather than a tiny little area?
Yeah.
You're wasting the resource, because if I want to do print and cut, I've wasted, if I do like decals or self-adhesive paper, for like when I was doing these, that self-adhesive paper on backing, and it's basically kiss cut. So it's cut the paper, which I pull away, just leaving the parts you want on the backing. But I can only do 2/3 of a sheet of A4. The rest of it is just thrown away.
Yeah, you waste a lot of wastage, isn't there? Then.
So there's a hell of a lot of wastage. Now, the other machines don't do this the same way as the Cricut does it. And one of them, I forget the name of it now, it does it in such a different way. But it can be done. But it meant that for me to try and see if I can do it, I'd have to invest in one of those machines. And I just, you know, I've got money invested in this, and I don't want to start spending other money that I can't really afford or justify spending on something else. And I've got no room for it, quite honestly.
Yeah. Another quick question for you, Geoff, because we've got Jason's joined us as well, so we'll get Jason to have a chat with us about the event on the 31st.
Yeah.
But can you obviously you mentioned decals and stuff? Can you print white decals as well?
Right. With decals, basically, I print on a clear decal paper, and I can only print the colours the printer will print. So that's everything bar white.
Okay.
You can print on white decal paper and print everything bar the white, but it means that when you print it and you use it, you've got to cut around that, so you only get the coloured part and the white part you want.
Yeah.
Now, you couldn't do, or I cannot do, clear decal. Like if I want to sort of do the writing on the side of a, I haven't got one to hand.
Yeah, HSD white, like HSD intercity.
If you've got any sort of, just take that for instance. I'd have to cut that shape out.
Yeah.
Which might as well be vinyl or something else. And then it'd be difficult to actually fit to the logo. And like the numbering, I can't do that because I haven't got white ink to go on a clear decal. You can get printers that will print in white ink. just in a scale model scenery. His printer does it. I believe that Chris at Westall Wagon Works, he's got a printer that will print in that, but he hasn't gone into trying out the decals and stuff like that. You know, it's I'm not big enough commercially. This is a I've got a full-time job, and this is a hobby. The 3D printing and the modelling and the selling of the stuff from Jumble Lane Printing is all based from a hobby. And it was to fund my hobby of my railway. That was the idea of it. I'd like to get it going a bit bigger so I can give up my full-time job and do this as a full-time job. And I'm willing to do that, but it's all based from home, and I'm just outgrowing my house all the time. And I just cannot justify spending a lot of money on printers and machinery to do this sort of work.
Yeah.
You know, I had somebody the other day saying, "Well, can I do that?" Or I'll just have the mugs and the t-shirts then. You know, so yeah, it's just one of those things.
It's just a slow build up, isn't it? You've got to bring things in slowly and work on what you can do and work on it, but to do well rather than trying to do everything. Because I appreciate where you totally appreciate where you're coming from. It's you can spend an absolute fortune and end up fighting around your house, around everything, and not have a space to live.
Yeah. Well, I keep. I was talking to my dad about it, and he said, "Well, you want to diversify. It isn't just model railways." And I says, "No, it's not." I says, "There are other things like dolls' houses, for instance, with 3D printing parts for dolls' houses. Once I know the scale they use, that sort of thing you can do. But it's the interest in the model railways that's keeping me doing the modelling and everything else. Because I do so many different things, like the photographic backscenes, I do the 3D printing, I do all sorts of the cricket t-shirts, mugs, merchandise, all that sort of stuff. I've got my fingers in lots of different pies. So really, it is difficult to really start making a living out of it when you're doing bits of this and bits of that all the time.
Okay, well, I'm definitely going to get. I'm going to send you some designs. So I want a mouse mat printed. So I've got a design for that. I'd like to send you if that's possible. And again, if you're welcome to use. If anyone else wants my image, you're welcome to use it as well. For anyone else who wants it, but I will send you that. But shall we get Jason in now to see? Are you free, Jason? Give us a thumbs up. Good. So I'll bring Jason into the stream. Hi, Jason. How you doing?
Hi, Jason.
Good afternoon, everyone. Hi, Geoff. Hi, Andy.
How you doing? Just give it. We've mentioned the MIYCG members meeting in July, and I've sort of sneaky broke that Geoff's going to be there with a bit of a stand. So we've sort of released that one today, but we're keeping very much everything under wraps at the moment.
Yeah, a lot of interesting things set up in the background with obviously with your assistants and Warley's assistants, and a lot of things interesting planned, and obviously a further increase to the information you sent to me earlier on, Andy, and I'm really looking forward to that. It's going to be really exciting.
I think so. I had a good chat with him today about things we've discussed, and I said, and I'll give him the alternative, which what I sent to you, and he was up for it, really big time. It's just I really want to get involved, and when I said again, we talked about who was up against, it's going to be a bit of a competition. He jumped at the chances. Especially the one person.
I don't know what you mean.
Yeah. So I think we're gonna have to set up some sort of a chat group for those taking part, and I think it'd be just good to sort of pull the string and let the let it go sort of thing, the banter. I think we're gonna have a great laugh out of it, really.
Yeah, it's going to be, obviously this is all thanks to Warley. It's Paul, Warley chairman, came up with the idea and offered the services of the venue as a meet. We were totally unaware of it until he came to us and said, Warley would like to offer the location as a meet. And I was like, wow, that was completely unexpected. So a huge thank you to Warley, Paul, all the team at Warley for obviously making this offer, and it's highly appreciated. And yeah, really looking forward to it. It's a lot of things in the background planned. It's surely something not to be missed.
Absolutely, it's going to be a very good day. And I think we're going to get a first. Well, we had the big announcements of the venue last Friday, and then this Friday we're going to get. I think Jack and Owen are going to make an announcement regarding the junior side of the day. So, make sure, I've already given it a plug earlier, but make sure if you got kids of your own, grandkids, get them involved, get them to join either the Warley Juniors Club or the MRYC Juniors. It's going to be a fantastic opportunity to take part in the and be a part of the day, not just be a visitor. I don't want to say any more than that, really. So I don't want to upset Jack and say too much.
Yeah. So it's free to attend. Obviously, there's only 2 criteria required to be in attendance, and that is to be an MRYCG member or a Warley member. That is simply it. Totally free. So really looking forward. I'm looking forward to it as a person attending, as well as obviously someone that's behind the scenes helping to organise it all. With Geoff as well, that's being one of both. He is obviously an admin at MOSG. Very proud to have him as an admin. He does a sterling job, and a Warley member as well. So it's a good link of the two together. So really looking forward to it.
Definitely. And the other thing is, even if you aren't a member now, you're welcome to, if you want to come along and see what the club's like, you can get to meet some of the MRYCG members. If you're prepared to join on the day, then you're welcome to come along as well. We wouldn't stop anyone coming along if they're prepared to want to join the club and get involved or become a member of MRYCG. You just got to produce a phone or something to say, that's me joining. I'm getting involved. Involved, join the community, and get involved with the community, because that's what we're all about, isn't it? It's about getting models together and sharing skills, sharing our hobby, sharing our interests, and getting involved.
Community together. That's what MRYCG is all about.
That's good.
Just going on about some of the products that Geoff does, and in regards to MRYCG, there's one of his mugs that he produces. That's one of the MRYCG mugs. Superb products that he produces. It's got the map on it as well. So he produces some Jumble lane printing, superb products. And ultimately, you were on about backscenes. That there is a Jumble lane backscene. Absolutely stunning backscene, and sterling job he's done of producing it. So again, I'll say it again, a huge thank you to Geoff for producing that. That is approximately, I think it's about 11 foot long. It was originally produced at 14 foot, but it was cut down to fit in with the loft angles and stuff like that. So it's about 11 and a half foot long, all in one piece. And it is superb. I did do a video, didn't I, Geoff, of actually it being done, and I got a lot of interest and a lot of praise for Geoff's work.
Has Matt Slade got the same vaccine on his layout as well?
I'm not sure. I don't know. Geoff, have you produced one for Matt?
He was talking about it, and I don't think I ever did it. But then I think what he's done is had it done himself, or if he's had it done off me, I can't remember doing it.
Well, it is from down his neck of the woods because that is actually Bristol. Yeah. I'll take him for a closer look. So that's the Radisson blue in the background there. And yeah, it's this is the Jumble Lane printing backscene. For those that you do know the skyline of Bristol, you should recognise it.
Because what jumps out at me is I'm sure I've seen that church on Matt Slade's layout.
Yeah, I think that's Bristol Cathedral, I think, actually.
It's Bristol Cathedral, yeah. Because he's got the cathedral, then he's got the church, a model of a church just in front of it. And there's also, you've got the castle on there as well, haven't you?
Yes, there. Just see it peeking over the buildings. But this, you wouldn't necessarily really notice that it's Bristol, because obviously I've got these low relief buildings in front of it which hide a lot of the scene. If I just take one out, that's actually one of the dockland areas that's been trimmed out. And we'll just take that from Premier in one away. And you can just see the tops of masts of boats. Obviously these low relief buildings hide those. So yeah, superb work. If anyone really is after backscene, I highly recommend them. It does do a superb job. See how much further I can go across. And I actually don't know what that silver globe is over in that far corner, but it just fits in just nicely there. But yeah, Jumble Lane backscenes. Recommend them. So yeah, there we go.
Good stuff.
So if you want something like that and you want it to, as Geoff says, bespoke backscenes, picture of what you want, you can reproduce them with a little bit of help.
Good.
But yeah, the group really looking forward to it. In fact, I've got other products as well produced by Jumble Lane. They are looking at the totem pole image up the top there. It says Barber's Junction. He produced that for me, completely unexpected. That is stunning. Pride of place up there.
Love. I've got an Australian mug from Geoff for Breedman. It works great till you want to have a drink and it's sort of upside down.
There's a couple of DB Schenker Australian mugs out there.
Is there?
Yeah, you couldn't tell me it was upside down because it's a D and a B, isn't it? It's actually upside down.
Well, it's
part of when you turn around, it says Schenker upside down.
Well, it's pride and place in my models cabinet. That one is the mug. It's very unique. I don't think there'd be anyone else having one of those upside down mugs.
Brian of Finniston Central saying my coaster mats are brilliant, and he's got a bespoke backscene also from Jumble Lane.
So yeah, I think we need to go for that walk sometime, Geoff, and we'll get some. We'll get try and get something of the Peak District. We can.
Me and you, the countryside, will get talked about.
I know. But anyway, it's a public place. I won't go anywhere dodgy.
Down in the woods today.
Yeah, especially being Brummies, we've got to be careful.
Yeah.
So yeah, the meet's 31st of July. So Saturday, and it'll be 10 till 5.
10 till 5.
Will be tea and coffee refreshments on hand, and a donation box to people for just donations to charity for tea and coffee and stuff like that.
That's it. Yeah, I think the plan is to split it to 50-50. We're going to do an MRYCG charity, and we've got a Warley charity. I know Mac's been in the chat earlier, but Mac's wife Janet has kindly offered to help out with the teas and coffees, so that's really good of her. And we've also got Christine. I think you would have met Christine before. So Christine's one of the Engage modelers, but Christine always, has always helped out with the teas and coffee stand at the show for members at the show. But she also helps out the open days as well. So we've got some helpers who are going to come and help out, which would be good.
And I'll donate one of my sponges that Stuart likes. That one with the mascarpone and the strawberries inside it.
Oh,
yeah, that's not to be missed.
This is going to be difficult because Christine's cake is beautiful as well. So
and Stuart's promised to bake a cake as well. Stuart's made a fair few of those because when he was staying down here with me that week, I made one for him and showed him, and he fell in love with it, didn't he? He brought it actually for you, didn't he?
So I think we need to go on a diet before the day, just so we can get through go through the day and have cake and tea and all day.
Just a quick reference though, but for those that you want to attend and you want to attend via transport, there are obviously public transport links around the area. But the nearest railway station, that's Sandwell and Dudley, is it?
Sandwell and Dudley. It's I've walked from Sandwell and Dudley station to the club, and it's only about a 10-minute walk. It's not a massive 10-15 minutes at most. But there is buses that go from the station pretty much straight past the front door. I can't remember the bus number, but we'll get that out before the event. But yeah, just get a train to Sandwell and Dudley. Being a Saturday, the train service on a Saturday is pretty good. And some of the West Coast Main Line services from Glasgow to Euston actually stop at Sandwell and Dudley as well. So you can get anywhere on the West Coast Main Line. If you get the right service, you can get straight through to the station, get off, and you're only a 10-minute walk away.
And if it's weather like it is today, it'll be a lovely little walk.
Absolutely. We've got a canal at the back of the club room as well. So if you've got a canal boat, you can always
come and moor up,
moor up at the back of the club, and we can open the back doors for you and let you in that way. But you've got Birmingham Airport. It's only if you can fly into Birmingham if you want. If you get cheap flights for the day, fly into Birmingham, then get the train to Sandwell and Dudley, or you can get the bus or National Express into Birmingham, and then get the train to Sandwell and Dudley. The M5 is 10 minutes away from the club. Obviously, parking is free, but being a Saturday, there's plenty of. But you'll find that will fill up. The spaces around the club will fill up fairly quickly. I can remember the 2019 people were parking on the main road. 5-minute walk away from the club because we had that. Wow. We had that many people there. But try and get there early. The club will be open I'll be at the club from about 8 o'clock in the morning, and I'm sure you won't be far behind me, Jason.
It's about a 50-minute drive for me.
Yeah. But we'll be there early, setting up and making sure everything's okay. Everything is COVID compliant. And we'll be welcoming our guests. Welcoming our guests that are taking part in the events. They'll be there a bit earlier. But then from 10 o'clock onwards, doors will be open. You'll be able to come along, spend the day, because there's obviously we've got refreshments on during the day, but there's a chip shop, 5 minutes up the road. There's a KFC, again, 5-10 minute drive away. McDonald's 5-10 minutes away. There's a pub over the road if you want to get something to eat in, bar snacks and stuff. There's a Sainsbury's just down the road if you want, and an Asda on the motorway junction. So
it's probably full of places
around last week. Yeah, and we also we'll give local model shops a shout out as well. There's Tennants and Oakses, which are not far from the club room as well, 5-10 minutes away. And they've always been big supporters of Warley Club. I think they are members of the club as well, but if you want to go to a model shop while you're in the area, hopefully the shops will be back open, so you're about to go and visit them. And we've also got the Warley limited edition club wagons that will be for sale on the day as well. So bring some pennies with you, and I'm going to talk to the treasurer, but I'm hoping we can do a bit of a deal on the day to get a multi-wagon deal. If you buy 2 or 3 wagons, we can do a slightly discounted price.
Yeah,
I've got to work on the treasurer for that one.
But yeah, again, massive thanks to Warley, chairman, and everybody for making this possible, for coming to us and offering us to be a place to hold a meet. We have got other meets planned as well, but I think this is going to be one of them. It's going to certainly be a mega meet. Lots going on, not to be missed. Maybe a few famous faces around as well. So make sure you have your cameras ready to click, click, click.
Yeah, it's going to be YouTubers. It's going to be a YouTuber sort of. Yeah, it's going to be anyone and everyone who's on YouTube will hopefully be around, and there'll be more cameras than you can shake a stick at, really. So you know, definitely best behaviour, and because you won't know if there's a camera being pointed at you or what's going on. If it's
hopefully it'll be one of those locations where you'll be backpack free.
Absolutely. Oh, there's no need to have a backpack, is there? You know, absolutely no need for it. But no, it should be a good day. I'm really looking forward to it.
I am too, very, very much so. Fingers crossed, Boris lets us out of our cages and all goes well.
Absolutely. And like I said, we've already mentioned Geoff's going to be there with his with a few bits and pieces. So,
and there will be others. Details will be released in due course.
Yeah, again, once we got confirmation, invites have gone out, but I'm waiting for confirmations. As soon as we got confirmations, you know, obviously we'll be sharing, you know, we'll be feeding the information out to you all via the Facebook Friday. So make sure you tune in on a Facebook Friday every evening at 7:00. And either yourself,
every Friday,
yourself or Stuart will be, you know, sharing the latest news of what's confirmed and what's going on.
Stuart's very excited. As always.
Stuart's like a
kid in a candy shop, isn't he?
Stuart gets excited when he just mention Warley Club and that's it. He gets excited.
Yeah. He has to wear his reins, pull him in.
When we first went in that club room, the first time that we both went in there and met Andy there,
he was like,
he was shell shocked. He was like a little kid in a sweet shop.
Yeah.
More so like Stuart in a cake shop.
If anyone looks at the place from the outside, it does not look that very big. But it's like a TARDIS, isn't it, Geoff? Yeah, you go in and the place just goes boom. It's huge. And it's on 2 levels as well. There's 2 floors. There's multiple rooms. There's conference rooms. There's offices. There's the library. There's lots going on. Lots of layouts will be on display as well.
Yeah, I think we've mentioned already. We're hoping to have club members will be around on the day. But if you've got a piece of rolling stock you want to run on a club layout, bring it along. Bring it in. Obviously not a big rucksack, but bring a small bag. Bring your piece of rolling stock and just talk to the members running the layouts. And 99% will say if it's, you have to check if it's DCC layout or a DC layout. But if we can run your piece of stock on the layout, run it. We'll run it for you.
And there are multiple gauges and scales available to be ran as well, I believe.
Yeah, we've got 2. I think we have 2 N-gauge layouts running. So we have Broadwater Junction and Hawes Junction. They're both DC N-gauge layouts. Broadwater has been at the show a few years. Be a few years ago now, but Hawes Junction is the latest N-gauge layout based on Settle and Carlisle. It was at the 2019 show. It's due to be at the 21 show, but it's something like about 20 foot long, 25 foot long, which for an N-gauge layout is huge. And again, if you go on the Warley YouTube channel, I'm sure we've got footage of Hawes Junction on there. But that's a fantastic N-gauge layout We've got the 00 layout, which is Yardley, and that was built for Virgin Trains back in the day when Virgin Trains used to support the show. And that's a four-track main line, 2 tracks DCC, 2 tracks of DC. It's quite modern image, but it's all built around pendolinos running high speed. So again, if you've got anything on there you want to bring, we can set that up to modern image or Steam. It's based on Yardley Station in Birmingham.
Right.
But that's a lovely layout as well. So that will be up and running and working on that. We've got Warley Road, which is an O gauge layout. So Paul and myself were already discussing the stock for that, and we're going to try and run that with my BR blue stock and Paul's BR blue stock. So it's going to be diesel, modern image. Again, that was built as a Steam era layout, but we're going to try and run it for the day as modern image. So that's O gauge and that's DCC. So that's a really nice layout. And then we got Northbridge, which is based on Kidderminster, Bridge North Station. It's on the Severn Valley.
Right.
So that's DCC 00 layout. That should be running. We've got Scale 7 guys. So it's basically a 7mm layout with 0.5 mm narrower. If you want to be pedantic, which I'm not, and I'll probably upset them now, so they probably won't. But that 7mm layout, again, Steam, and we've got a couple of layouts that were under construction. So we've got an N-gauge layout under construction, and we've got a 00 layout which started just before lockdown. They've got the baseboards done, and they just started to lay the track on that. So that'll be an in progress build.
Mm.
So there's loads going on, and anyone who's interested in joining the club, especially if you live in the Midlands and you want to get involved with building layouts, there's an N-gauge layout you can get involved in. There's a 00 layout you can get involved in. I mentioned earlier we've got a Hornby one we're looking to build for the visitor centre. So again, you might be able to get involved with that as well. So if you are looking to start in the hobby, a club is a great place to learn.
Definitely.
I'm good with scenics, but my electrics are like, I'd rather let, I'm dangerous with electrics, really. Keep the soldering iron away from me, and because I'll blow it up. But the benefit is you've got people who are good at electrics in the club, and they like electrics, and
good mix of people, yeah.
And you share skills. And I've never built before then I hadn't built a baseboard in my life. For me, it was just a piece of chipboard down on the floor, and then just getting involved with people at the club, you learn how to build baseboards and how to drill holes in the kitchen floor.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's about sharing skills.
Excellent. Right.
Yeah.
Well, I hope to see as many of you there as possible. It's going to be a great day. I guarantee that from what we've got planned. Hopefully, it will go ahead. So yeah, stay posted. Stuff will be released in due course.
Absolutely. Fenton Central said, "I'm absolutely gutted. I can't come." Well,
yeah, he's tried to get the day off, but he's not been able. He's not had the opportunity. So we never know. He might be able to.
Absolutely. We'll what we're going to do, I'm sure we'll be doing some sort of YouTube content during the day, won't we, Jason?
Yes, there will be. There will be some content.
Yeah, we'll film stuff for the Warley channel as well as MRYCG. So, you may not be able to be there physically, but we'll put videos up so you'll be able to take part, even if you can't physically get there.
Yeah, we will do that, definitely. So, right. So, thank you very much for me dropping on. Sorry, Geoff, for jumping in on your stream.
No problem.
I'll leave you all to be and let you get on with the stream with Andy. But yeah, thank you very much. Links, if anyone wants to know more about the open day, or not open day, the members meet, get in touch with myself or Geoff or Andy, or you can also visit the MOICG Facebook group.
Yeah, and definitely join in on Friday for the junior takeover with little Jason and
Little Anton Deck.
little Anton Deck, yeah. And I think I've been dragged into that one as well. So yeah, we'll see you Friday evening.
Yeah, definitely. Thank you very much, everybody. I'll see you again soon. Take care.
Thanks for joining, Jason.
You're welcome.
Hey, Jason.
So there you go. Sorry, Geoff. Jason was around and joined in. So
yeah.
So I'll
show you one of the things that I have been doing in recent weeks. Just pull me right there. Got my level crossing there, which has always been a static crossing. It's just been gates, which I made. I made those with the Cricut machine. Just cut them. There we are. I just cut the gates out of card, made them like that. But I made this little thing on my control panel, and you turn it on. And basically, you press the button, and they all sort of move. And then press the button again. So that's one of the things I've been doing lately. I keep doing things. Electronics is one of my sort of childhood hobbies, really. So I've sort of progressed into bringing electronics into model railway.
Yeah, I like that sort of jerky sort of looks like a wheel.
There's a story about that, because that is modelled on an actual layout. Well, not an actual layout, but an actual railway when I was a child, where I was born up in Yorkshire. And I've just made the whole area of that based on photographs and chats with mum and dad. You got the two railway stations there, which were separated by a bus station. My dad used to be a bus driver, and mum used to be a clippy. And they was telling me all sorts of things about the place and what was what, and that's what I based it all on. When I made that level crossing and made the gates move, I said to my dad, I said, I'm having awful trouble trying to basically get it to run smooth, because what happens is that it's only a little tiny Arduino that controls it. It's not very powerful as a computer, but it does the job well. But you're telling one motor to move 1 degree, another motor to move 1 degree, another one to move 1 degree, and another one to move 1 degree. Then you start the whole process again. So you're telling 4 motors to move 1 degree in turn.
Yeah, so it's like staggered opening.
So, well, not so much. It's not so much staggered because it happens so quick, and they all run together. But because it's telling them one at a time, it's actually doing bit. So it is got that jerkiness. My dad turned around and he says, "That's how it was in real life, because you got a bloke in that signal box with a big wheel, like a
turning the wheel around,
and he turned it, and sometimes you could see him. He was really forcing it. If there was like grit and stone in the workings, he used to get so far and he used to fall off it. He used to be pushing that hard, and then he'd try, and all of a sudden, so that's how it was in real life. There is a Facebook page of that area run by people in that area, model railway area, And I posted the video where I got the music going to, because there's a chap who does this folk songs and he makes up songs and stuff, and he's got an actual track on his LP called Jumble Lane. It talks about them gates where they're always stopping the traffic from going.
Yeah,
it was always a bad talking point in Yorkshire where it was, and basically. I got it with the music, and I put that on their Facebook page, posted it, and I got some comments saying, "Oh, it's such memories of it actually being exactly like that. That's how it was."
Yeah.
So I thought, no, I'll leave it jerky. I won't smooth it out.
No, it looks good. It's a nice effect, because you can just imagine some poor bloke sitting there with a wheel turning this wheel round, and the gate sort of jerking backwards and forwards.
It wasn't, as daft as it sounds, it wasn't until I bought the Metcalf kit of the inside of a signal box, that little tiny kit you can buy with all the parts. I thought, what the hell's this ship's wheel doing in there? What are they putting it there for? And then somebody turned around to me and says, "Well, you bloody idiot. That's how they opened the gate."
Yeah. But as a youngster, we used to go on holidays to Skegness, and I'd only been about four or five, but there used to be a signal box on a level crossing, and I can remember we used to go down there, and I used to knock on the signalman's door, and he used to let me in, and in fact I had to go at doing the wheel, obviously with him helping, sort of thing, but. I used to go down there for about half an hour, 40 minutes at a time, and just obviously watching, controlling the signals and pulling the levers and opening and closing the gate. It was never a busy signal box, because it was obviously being Skegness, but it was great fun. As a 5-year-old kid, it was getting to have a go at pulling the levers was the best part of the holiday, sort of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, our mum and dad would spend it all day on the platform, picking blackberries and raspberries off to make a pie when we got home. But I'd be quite happy left in the signal box all day.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's good memories, though, isn't it? Memories of when you were a kid, like.
Yeah.
So.
I didn't really grow up with the only trains I grew up with was a bit of a Hornby set. Well, it was bits of Hornby stuff. It wasn't an actual set. It was just bits of track, a controller, which was just a transformer with a knob on it, and the odd loco, and I had a steam loco and a diesel, like an American type diesel, similar to a Deltic, really, but it was an American jobby. I just remember it's green and orange, basically green with orange lines on it, and a big single headlight.
Yeah.
But that was when I was 5, 6, and I'm 63 next month. So that was a long time ago. And then I had all my cars and my Meccano, and I used to go from one to the other as a kid. And then by the time I got to 8, 9, 10, I was starting to do different things. And then 15, 16, 17, I was into finding girlfriends. And then not long after that, it was getting married and having kids of my own. So I spent that many years out of the model railway modelling side of things. But I realised that I've still got this passion for them.
Yeah.
And I look now at what I've got, and I truly amaze myself.
Absolutely. But obviously, similar thing for you, really. I started off with my dad started off with buying me a train set when I was sort of 2, 3. But it was a little Hornby 040 and a Class 25, and I've still got them upstairs, in the spare bedroom, and they still work and still run. But again, you go through different fads. As you know, yeah, I have my dad's train set, which I'm allowed to look at and watch, but not touch, because he's buying it for me, apparently for a birthday, Christmas presents, and birthday presents. But I can't play with it. I just can only look at it. And then you go through the Meccano, building stuff, and then Airfix and Scale Electric, and then you come back to trains, and like I said, then you find pubs and girls, and then you go through that fad, and then I don't know everything apart from get married. But it's something when you get into your own home and you find you get a bit more money, and it's something you fall back on the old interests, don't you?
Yeah, well, I think I got into it really because I got divorced twice, so I thought, that's it, I ain't going to find another woman. I'm not going through that again.
Yeah,
so I'll argue back.
This hobby's cheaper.
Well, yeah, you could say that.
Just about.
But going back to the cricket machine, these are some things that I've made. That is a bridge over my heritage line. And all that's done with card that is cut with a cricket. And then I'll just layer it, glue it together in kit form. I mean, it is quite detailed. You got steps going up.
And that's made of cardboard?
Yeah, it's just card.
That's fantastic. Well, brilliant.
It's just card. And that is something else I've made. That's what it is. But all it is, I don't know if I've got any bits underneath this. No, I had a clear out, and I knew that if I threw them away, I'd regret it. It's just the pieces of card. I don't know if they're up here somewhere. Well,
while you're talking, Geoff, Tim at the Scrap Line's just made a comment. You remember his dad handing his layout over to him? The first thing he did was push all the trees over and make them look like the hurricane of 1987 blew through it. That's tickled me, to be fair.
Yeah. Right, basically, start off with cutting out that out of card. That's just card. And then I either did two of them, so they're twice as thick, and a piece of playing card. And then basically you layer them like that. And what you've got there is the reflection from the sunlight outside. There we are. It looks like the side of a bridge. And if you look, you just see the back wall there.
Yeah.
There.
So you play girders on there, really?
Yeah, just like a girder bridge. Do anything like that. It's just your imagination, and it's like saying the old saying of more than one way to skin a cat. It's just like thinking, how would I achieve that effect? To do that, and I've used those all over my layout in different places.
Yeah,
for bridges and stuff like that in different ways. It's just a cheap and simple way of doing it. But yeah, I didn't throw them away. I've still got loads of.
Yeah, it's something you sort of keep, and you dig out a later today. Oh, that might work for that.
Yeah.
It's once you've done the work, you've got it forever, then, haven't you? You've got the design to work on.
You can do. Say, if you've got a bridge, just one bridge going over a road, and you want to make a panel to go over, so it's both sides. you can do that out of a sheet of A4 card, and that'll be 2 thicknesses of that and one of the plain card.
Yeah.
For both sides, and you still got some bits left out of a piece of A4, and that's just one piece of card.
Yeah.
Just a bit of glue to glue it together, and then I just sprayed it with acrylic paint.
Yeah.
Let it dry.
Yeah, I suppose as long as you go on, I use my airbrush, but I suppose as long as you go build the layers up quite thin layers of paint.
I used an airbrush on this because I did actually build that bridge. This bridge here, this is Mark 1. It's exactly the same, but whereas here, for instance, you've got this part here, and then that, so the bridge goes down there.
Yeah.
It was the wrong way round. I assembled it the wrong way, so I had to make another one. That's the coloured card I used. It's like a tan coloured card, and this is you can actually buy the Cricket's own pack of 12-inch square card, and it comes in this browny tan. It comes in a jet black one, and it comes in a white as a multi pack, like so many pieces, like 5 or 10 pieces of each colour. Model board, it's just a board they sell. But off eBay, I got some white. What it costs for the pack of 30 pieces of the 3 colours, so you get 10 of each. I got the white in the same thickness of card. I think it was with 100 pieces for about 2/3 the price. Might as well just get that, mightn't you? And then paint it.
Yeah. And I suppose it's a cheaper way to build models than because especially if you've got the ability to design it yourself.
Well, it's customizing it to the. You can buy something, but it's got to be whatever you need. It's got to fit your layout. Now, there's no way I could just go and buy that off the shelf.
Yeah.
I'd have to sort of buy 3 or 4 kits and sort of
make it fit
somehow, and then have it so it looks as though it's all one piece. So you can actually tailor make it, and having something like the Cricket cutters to do that, it's just makes life so easy. It's so much fun. You get that sense of achievement.
Absolutely.
And it becomes unique to you.
Yeah.
I've got to admit, this bridge I bought. It's laser cut wood, and I can't remember the company that did it. It wasn't Scale Model Scenery, but it was a company some time ago. It's one of the first ones I ever bought, and it just fits over the 3 rails. But the way that is constructed is the way I've made this. So I've copied the way it's done, but it's all made myself.
Yeah. So what's the next plans for Jumble? For the layout and Jumble Lane.
I really want to do Rose Holt and the station there. I want to do that. I've got a station here to build, and what I want to do is find the right type of texture to do as the floor for the station platform, and print it in one piece. So at the moment, it's a butchered. Well, I can't take it because that much stuff on top of it. But it's made out. It's one piece at the moment, but it's the Metcalfe platform kit basically. So it's several bits of that. But it's going to be sort of partly a station, really, this side, just to finish off this area. But it's like everything else. It's just an evolution, isn't it? It
Absolutely.
goes. And then I've got to finish the back edge of the bus station. I've got to finish the bus station off at some point, and then build along that area past it, which is going to be the market. And typically, the market that was there was on the other side of that line, that back line. But that is in my next door neighbour's bedroom, so I can't do that.
Yeah. Knock
So
the doors. Knock the door and ask
sorry.
the question. See if you can knock through. They won't mind.
Well, I've already knocked through into my built-in wardrobe.
Into the wardrobe, yeah.
Yeah. And took all the plaster off the wall while I was making it. But that's another thing. One of the biggest projects I'm going to do there is that most of what's inside the wardrobe will be hidden. All the rail will be hidden with the scene on top, the town scene on top. So I could use up the buildings that I've got, the houses and everything that I've got.
Yeah.
Because if there is a derailment or problems with the track or for cleaning purposes, I need to take it up. What I'm going to do is something to do, really. I'm going to automate it using Arduinos and motors and threaded rod. So basically, program it into one of my CV settings to work off a decoder to switch it on to just lift the whole seat up into the wardrobe. That'll be enough, because I'll be getting my iPad and I should be selecting one of the CV settings and press that, and then it lifts up.
I need to get your help with electrics then, I think, because it's beyond me.
The other thing, as daft as it sounds, is just got nothing to do with railways. I've got a roller blind in the window, and I've got to reach over my layout to actually bring the blind up and down. And it takes out all the light out of the room, which is good for if you need certain lighting, light shots and stuff like that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to automate that roller blind as well.
Can you sort mine at the same time? Because that's the one issue I've got with me is the lighting. It's a bit sort of bright behind me at the moment. So I could do used to sort that my lot blinds out really.
Yeah, well, all you do is black out blinds. The colours on the inside, but the outside were actually white, but they're actually opaque. So they cut out all the light. And basically, it's got the chain on the side. So all I'm going to do is 3D print a housing for a motor. And you can actually go on Thingiverse, and they're actually on there.
Oh, okay. So
you just basically get this either a stepper motor or a motor that will fit in it, and it will just operate that motor. I mean, you can do it with a switch, but I want to do it with an Arduino, so I can just have a button on my control panel and say, curtain down, curtain up.
I'll leave you to play with that one. Anyway,
it's just fun.
We've done just over 2 hours, so
how long is it? That long?
It's that long, yeah. We've done. So yeah, absolutely. So thanks for joining us today, Geoff.
No problem at all.
We look forward to seeing you at the members' day at the end of July, and we'll hopefully be back in the club room soon, and we can get back to doing interaction and seeing you really more than anything. Yeah. So thanks for joining us, and thanks to everyone who's joined and watched the stream today. Don't forget we've got Pete Waterman on next Wednesday from 2 o'clock. I'm not sure how long Pete will do, but if I know Pete, once we get him talking, I won't get over edge race. it'll be, he'll be just talking away. And we look forward to seeing his layout, his 00 layout, which will be on display at Chester Cathedral. So if you're free next week, join us from 2:00. And thanks again for joining us today, Geoff.
Lovely.